Afternoon, sirs. Actually, I couldn't resist intervening the previous discussion because I started 139 in Bangalore. I was DGM Bangalore then, and the first 139 service in the railways, Indian Railways, was started by RAILTEL. We first did it in Bangalore and Patna, and for whatever reason, then they didn't want to do it. RAILTEL didn't want to do it. Continue. They said they will do it later, but the ministry wanted it immediately. So it was then handed over to ISTC. So I'm very personally passionate about the project. I think it has a lot of things, and we can do a lot of things about it yet. I'll get on to my subject. What we're going to talk about is how RAILTEL has done some innovation, and how we think this can actually mean a lot for the spread of broadband in the country. So, sir is already there, but just for the benefit of others, sir, I can introduce RAILTEL very briefly. If you're already familiar, I can skip this step. RAILTEL was a POC formed in 2000 by the Ministry of Railways when, due to the telecom boom, the right-of-way was becoming very important, and railways are looking at ways to modernize the telecommunication and also generate revenues by using this right-of-way. And very quickly, in the first few years, we built up this network, and it's one of the largest networks now in the country. I would say the first few years we focused on improving the railways communications, and we have been more of a carrier's carrier in the first few years. And we know we are a profitable company now. We've been profitable for some time now, and we have even awarded the Mani Ratna. But we know that in the middle of a telecom boom that we should be doing much better. And what, okay, let me just come to that later. So you can see the extent of the network, one of the largest networks in the country. We have DWDMs in the backbone. We have plenty of capacity in the backbone. These are our key customers. You'll see most of them are major service providers and maybe universities and educational institutions. And these are major projects which I would say we kind of anchored. The NKN project and the USO fund project in northeast of India. And also we are one of the key partners in the National Fiber Optic Network project, which these three projects we think are going to transform the way information is going to be distributed and generated in the country. So this is the topic I've come to talk about. What we have tried to do is we have seen in even though we have a lot of bandwidth in the backbone, one of the situations we are in is we don't have an access network. So do we build an expensive access network like BSNL? Do we plan for spectrum like how the telco is paying enormous amount of money? Or how do we reach customers, and how do we monetize the network which we have built in? Because we have a lot of bandwidth in the backbone, and we have we are only being a carrier's carrier, which is the lowest end in the market. So we looked at this scenario. I'll take you to the fifth line, where broadband subscribers is only 13.35 million homes, whereas the telecom subscribers are close to 1 billion. And this is in spite of everything which has happened, and we know that whatever planning is done in the national level, they feel that expansion of broadband is the key to a lot of things. The UNDP report also says that if you expand broadband by about 10%, your GDP increases by nearly 1.3%. So what we have seen is the number of cable TV connections is 140 million. Now 140 million is a huge number, and we are seeing a thick pipe going to everybody's home, and it is doing a fairly dumb thing, that is passing video signals. It could be used for something better. So why we thought about this is, like, India is, what does it really take to deliver world-class broadband services? We require a very thick network. We require a lot of software and sophisticated software which can deliver those services. Being in Bangalore, I realized that what most of the IT companies in Bangalore do is serve BT and AT&T and things like that. And they're perfectly doing this. And telecom can be managed by these software houses. And so the model was, we decided, how do we partner a software company to build the kind of scalable OSS, BSS, CRM. We partner with the LCOs, the local cable operators, to use the network to deliver very fast broadband, world-class broadband, and how together we can collaborate and play, and try to take broadband to the masses actually. So what we did, we devised in Bangalore, we have this experiment in Bangalore, and we started in the heart of the city actually, not our city in the sense, in a place where every operator was there, because what we thought is that if you try it in a remote area, it might succeed, but we wanted to know how we would be able to sell in a city where everybody is there. So we started in Whitefield area, where every telecom operator is there, and yet we could not only sustain, but we could any apartment which Railwire went to, we could sustain our services, and there was a lot of churn from the other operators to this because of the thick pipe. So this is a collaborative model. What we intend to do is just, you have a thick pipe, build a CDN, a content delivery network of, a library of movies. We are connected umbilically to the National Knowledge Network. You can collect to the national libraries, and then you deliver these services on a thick pipe to every home, because the cable which is coming home actually can do 200 Mbps very easily. The problem is, when people were experimenting the older technologies like DOCSIS, it was very expensive and also troublesome. But the newer technologies called Ethernet over coax, the technology is one of WiMAX, which is going to run on the cable. So this noisy environment, WiMAX is very, very sturdy in a noisy environment, and the channel available in the cable, it was a bit noisy. That's why the telecom operators were not using it very easily. But now that problem has been solved. So we can easily do 100 to 200 Mbps to every home, and that is a lot of bandwidth. Something else, we know mobility is big. We know everybody is interested in mobility, and people are spending a lot of money on spectrum. But we think, and we believe it's true, that one thick wire will always come to everybody's home, and that will be very cheap. No amount of spectrum or technology will change that. What people need is nomadicity. I don't think like today there are people who need 5 Mbps on the move at 80 kmph per hour. I don't think there are applications to that now or even in the future. What we need is, people need bandwidth wherever they are, and they need good bandwidth. And I think the one thick wire coming to the home is going to stay. This we have learned even in the US. Actually, after Verizon experimented with a lot of things, finally they decided to lay fiber to the homes. I mean, they have the spectrum. In fact, they still have the spectrum. So there is a different space, but there is always one thick wire going to the home, and I think exactly, sir. You can't change that. You can't change that. Yes, you can have a data card, you can have a fancy mobile and everything, but there has to be a thick pipe which can do everything. You can just stream movies, you can do everything. The problem is to exploit the potential of that humble cable, because the way people perceive it is, this guy who, the neighborhood guy, cannot probably deliver this service to me. So what we want to do is bring a common platform where we have the sophistication of, say, the Infosys or Wipro, who can do all the services and that they are doing all over the world. And RAILTEL can leverage their expertise, our network, and the reach of the local cable operator. That is the innovation which we have done, and we have seen this very successful. Now I've come to Delhi, and we have a program to launch it across India. The first phase, it will be done in South India. It will be launched across India now.
I start with South India. Go to Northeast. Go to remote areas first.
Actually, sir, that is the point. That is the point. It has to start. I mean, we have immediately launched in South India because the experiment was happening there. It was started there. Because it is just like I was there. I was GM Bangalore there, and I worked on this project. So it started there, and now it will spread more. Probably there's a lot of traction there. So we'll start there, but very soon, sir, in the next 3 months, it will be in the Northeast. It will be all over the country, and we really believe that. And we are seeing the LCOs I mean, why did not say, I would say, I mean, not to name people, but then just in the interest, like why did the Airtels and Reliances not do it? Why did they not exploit this? Is because the LCO perceives us as benign. They think that RAILTEL is okay, they won't cheat us. And also Airtel and Reliance and other Tatas are in their competitive business, they are in the DTH. So they believe that these guys will compete with them and take them away from business. So they are very, what we found is they're very enthusiastic about this whole program. After it was launched in Whitefield, they've seen a lot of demand coming from Kerala and Tamil Nadu and all these people. They had conferences and they're saying we are going to use the minister's influence to force you to come to Kerala. We are telling them, hold on, we are just doing an experiment and we'll come to you. So the kind of enthusiasm really is very infectious. So these are the main things. The internet of the common man, it's supposed to be the cheapest and fastest broadband. Citizen-centric services, because I think we'll peer with all the e-governance applications and all that. So people don't have to pay for expensive broadband. It will be peered, so you'll get, for instance, we have peered locally to the railways, so people will access it at very fast speeds. And now the new telecom policy, we have VoIP being allowed, so we could have the rail phone at home. Be another landline at home. And of course, the other things are, we have a lot of host of value-added services planned. I think it has to happen. Everybody, I'm sure, talks about it, health and education and working from home applications. But a lot of them have already quite matured with the railway platform. They're not launched yet, so I don't want to talk about it yet. But video, we have seen a lot of video services are possible. There was a company which has a library of more than 10,000 movies. And they said, no, can we keep your movies library here? And we'll charge only 10 rupees for each movie download. We just were looking at ways and how we can manage the digital rights management on that. And I'm sure that will take off too. Another thing about this network is it's completely symmetrical. It is ready for the next generation of web where it is both ways. There's no DSL here. So your upload speeds are same as the download speeds. This is architecture. We have a DWM at the core, and we have CWM at the city side. So that you can see that there is no thing. It's a very, very thick pipe, and the network to the curb, that is the local cable operators, will be 1 gig. And from there, there'll be a shared 100 Mbps Ethernet. Content rights issues on that, but assuming those issues are resolved and are not there, we found in our experiment 60 to 70% of the traffic is peer-to-peer. And that is, people are downloading movies and things like that. And those functions work very well in a thick pipe rather than through wireless or through an ADSL modem. And today we're talking about CDN again here. What we really think is we need an India-facing CDN, because 90% of the content in India, whatever Indians use in broadband, resides in San Jose. And most of the content has to hit American or European soils and then come back. What we think is RailTel, having such a big network, should offer like a giant cache of broadband to the country, where content will still reside there. So, and we'll have caching centers within the country, which will speed up the whole response of broadband in India. Why? Because we have seen that most of the traffic now, the growth of traffic on the internet is video. And video is not very good when it's downloaded across a long stream. You'll find YouTube pretty good because Google has done most of the caching in India. So this is what it is. Any questions, sir?
Yes. What's the question? This is obviously it is something worthwhile. So we're talking about something which needs to be done. You can put a whole host of
Yes.
items onto a slide, and that's utopia. But then you've got to look at the practical side of things as well. You need partners.
Correct, sir.
You need many, many different kinds of
Correct.
partners. Whether you need an MSO or an LCO, or you need an EPC, or you need a OFC partner, or whether you need a partner in the term of developers, builders, designers, architects. I mean, if you want to do a 5-story building, you need an architect. You need a company like a Duraline to be able to come back to you and tell you what the architecture of the network inside a building is should be, and how to implement and how to put it into practice. So it's not just what you think, because this is a wish list. The actual hard work is in the implementation and in the creation of a partnership regime which allows you to work with partners so that you get the work done. I mean, that is where the crux of the issue
I
is.
think you hit the nail on the head, sir, actually. So this idea is not new. Actually, I first presented to my management.
Sorry, I want to go one step further. What you're talking about is vanilla services. These are all vanilla services.
Absolutely.
Where is your concept of a smart city in the year 2050?
Okay, sir. Actually, what we need is first a wired network. Okay, the other things which can be coming on the network will always come. First, you need connectivity. So I'll come back to the first question, which is most relevant. Incidentally, I'm here, but actually, it was my idea, which we did something about three and a half years ago, when I first made this presentation to my management. My MD said, look, this is exactly what you said. He said, where are you going to have this kind of abilities to manage so many partners? So I took that feedback very positively, and what we have done today is an innovation on that. I thought this presentation would not require me to go to that level, but real innovation what we have done is we have one portal for everything. The partner doesn't have to come to us for anything, not for his payments, not for his revenue share, nothing. Everything. He pays the money online, he gets his revenue share online automatically, he doesn't have to do anything. Everything is in a prepaid system, and there's absolutely no interaction. It's completely templatized. That actually is the innovation of RailWire. I thought, I mean, if I get into those details, it might not, it be too intricate.
To me, seriously, I would say don't start from the year 2013. Start your process from 2040 and then work down towards 213.
Very
Right, sir. I really take this input.
Put yourself
In 2040, I want a connected city, and I want a connected city, not just this, I want smart grid.
Right. So
And that's
actually,
where I'm looking at. That's where I can talk about traffic, where I can talk about electricity, where I can talk about
Absolutely, sir.
peak hour
Yes.
what load requirement as opposed to
yes,
other
water actually. You monitor the pumps, find out where the pressure is, where the leakage is, and everything.
Where's
Do the
water
metering.
shortage going to be?
Yes, that I absolutely agree, sir. What we are laying is an ability to build a scalable, connected network everywhere, and take broadband to the masses at a very, very low cost, and we're basically building a leverage model. We are going to leverage the expertise already available with the software company. We are going to leverage the network already available with the local cable operator. He is using it for some service, but we can do much, much more. So what we are doing is laying the platform, sir, for whatever you say you have to be built.
for the trains to come. Wonderful.
No, it's worth it. It is worth doing. Absolutely worth doing.
The main thing is, no, sir, I think the real strength, two things is we have the entrepreneurial energies of lakhs of LCOs on your side. They are going to take it, and it's a very highly scalable model. If you can build your backbone in a proper manner, organize your software portal and billing system in a very proper manner, it will just move on. They will take it, because suddenly you have on board so many of entrepreneurs who are working on your side.
But what Mr. Pahal has said, don't start with 2012 and see how.
I think that's a very useful input, sir. I really will. I really will.
It will go there, and this is what I want.
And then work backwards.
That's what.
Right, sir.
You know, this is my superstructure. Create that. Then fill up compartments, make apartments there and stores there and this type. This structure.
Right, sir. Actually, now you already mentioned that RailTel is turning on a new leaf, and we are really on it, sir. You'll find that we are really going to do this.
Are you going to be based in Delhi?
Yes, sir. Now I moved to Delhi. Yes.
Where is Mahesh?
Mahesh is an RDSO. He's due for movement. He is the senior AD, Abhilaksham.
One question,
Yes, sir.
what is the innovativeness in this? This you are going to use the fiber only.
Sir.
And that is, what is the innovativeness in
Sir,
this?
it is a
Basic
way-
question
Yes, sir.
is, this is a no fun project, under no fun project.
No,
which
it is not a fun project.
Maybe,
Yes,
let
sir.
us forget no fun for the
Right, sir.
time being.
Right,
It's
sir.
a utilization of your fiber.
Okay, sir.
Is basically,
No, sir, it is not actually.
Then?
Fiber is there. Fiber doesn't do anything by itself. What we have found a way is without investing in the last mile, leveraging an existing last mile, and leveraging the existing expertise of a software company without buying those
that means
expensive software.
utilization, whatever is, ultimately you want it to utilize.
No, sir,
The best.
we are trying to match it. We are trying to find a, see, he's having the cable TV guy is having his network for the last 15 years and he's just serving video. But we have found a way in which he can be brought to telco grade, and we are able to launch broadband services from a guy who doesn't have. We take away all the complexity from him. We tell him just to do the basic things, and we manage all the complexity. Why can't cable guys do broadband by themselves? Because broadband is a different animal. It requires a lot of understanding of technology and management. So what we have done is we have the expertise somewhere with somebody. We have the network, and we have taken it to the people who don't have it, and hence we have built a strong value for the customer.